Well, hello, and welcome once again to What Nobody Told Me After 65. Well, it's your lady on the go, lady in the know, Miss Info, and I am ticked off. I'm telling you, I am just so upset. Um, uh, I don't even know where to start. Okay, so I moved. I had to hire a moving company because I'm not for packing and all of that anymore. I can't do that. I'm tired. So I contracted with a company in August. All of August I was talking to the broker because what I found out is they put you in a basket, and anybody that's interested in your job will bid on your job. They'll reach out to you and say, I can carry your belongings, I can do it for this amount, or what have you. Anytime that you've ever gone out on the internet to get a quote for insurance, it's the same deal. I didn't know that. I thought when I called, I was dealing with one company, but you're not. Your information sits out there, and anybody, even after I had contracted with somebody, they were still contacting me because they wanted my business. So I had to be, my lease was up as of September the 15th. I had to be out of the apartment. On September the 13th, which was a Friday, I was calling and calling the people that I had given a deposit to, and they weren't answering. I was getting nothing. Crickets. So I panicked. Being the person that I am, I panicked. Now, mind you, I had a $500 deposit with the first guy. I called another guy. He wanted $948 to move me. But that would have been a full move. Everything included. Packing, taking it down, packing it up, shipping it and unpacking it when it got on the other end. So my credit card was all jacked up because it was with another company. A beautiful angel at my church said, here, take my credit card and do what you need, because I was beside myself. So I took her card and contracted with another company, company number 2. They took the deposit off the card and said that they would collect another third when they arrived to pick up, and the final third when they delivered. He quoted me a price of like $2,370, $2,370, which is about what the other guy, maybe $2,200, what the other guy had quoted. But to me, it was worth it. Okay, that was the 14th. That was Friday the 13th. On Friday evening, I got a phone call. Hi, this is the moving company. We'll be there tomorrow between 8 and 10 a.m. Is that okay? Yes, it's fine. Now, mind you, I'm excited because I'm getting some interaction, whereas the first company isn't calling me, isn't texting me, nothing. Saturday morning the 14th, 2 guys arrived in a Enterprise rental truck. Didn't have any name on it. 2 young men. So I said to the driver, I said, you're here to pack me up? He said, oh no, this is not a full pack. I said, yes it is. He said, well, I don't have enough materials to do a full pack. I said, what do you mean? So he looked on his paperwork. He said, let me call the office. He called the office, And they told him, yes, it's a full pack. Go to Home Depot and get boxes or garment bags or whatever you need to get. So he came back. He said, yes, you're right. This is a full pack. I'm sorry. I'm going to get you packed up with the materials that I have on my truck currently. He said, I can make it work. I said, but you sure you have enough? He said, well, if it's not enough, they authorized me to go to Home Depot. Okay. So these two young guys come in. I'm on the 3rd floor. It takes an elevator, and it's a long hallway, at least a New York City block. Those of you that are familiar with New York City, you know what I'm talking about. So the driver says, you know this is a long carry. I said, I told the broker that when I talked to him on the phone. He said, don't worry about it. He said, and it's an elevator fee. Both of these, the elevator fee is $75. The long carry is $25 for every 100 feet or something. Okay, now I'm starting to get a little upset because this is starting to add up. Anyway, they're packing and shrink wrapping and making stuff tight so they can get it in the truck, this rental truck. And I said, okay, how much more is this going to cost me? And the driver said, I'll figure it out after I see how many boxes we have. I said, well, I told him I only wanted 25 boxes. He said, oh, you're going to go over 25 boxes. I said, well, I was packing some myself because I got tired of waiting for people. I didn't know what else to do. I said, so deduct the number of boxes that I have from the 25 that I told you, because I want to stay in that range. I can't go much over. I'm on a fixed income. All right, I got you. Don't worry about it. So they wrapped up, and he finally said, listen, you are going to run over your cubic feet. I said, cubic feet? He said, yeah, you're allowed 350 cubic feet. He said, but I got your couch, your computer, your dresser, your nightstands. I got all of that on there. And if I put anything else on there, you're going to go over. I said, well, I don't want to go over. He said, okay. He said, all right, then let's do the paperwork. So he gave me these forms. The carrier, the company name was stamped on one part, but not filled in the boxes. Red flag. I didn't even really look at the carrier name because it was really small at the top. And I knew that I had contracted with, American Movers. Let's just say that's their name. When he finished with the numbers, the number of boxes I had went from like 225 to 285. All right? What's that? 40, 50 boxes or 50 numbers between 225 and 225 and 285. So he gave me this paper. He said, I need you to sign this. This says that the amount for your job may change. I said, by how much? He said, well, I can't take a credit card because, mind you, the lady from my church had given me her card. He said, I can't take a credit card. What? He said, no, so you won't pay anything today. We're going to take you, and they're going to contact you on Monday. Now, this was a weekend. They'll contact you on Monday and square up the numbers. I said, but this paper you're giving me says $2,200 on top of the money I already gave you. I said, that's all I can do. Well, it's out of my hands, miss. That's not what I do. I'm the driver, and I contract with this company. I said, okay. He left with the things that he could get on for my 350 cubic feet, which he told me I was a little over. And I still had a practically full walk-in closet full of clothes, little knickknacks, kitchen stuff, small appliances. None of that went. Pillows, comforters, just your run-of-the-mill bric-a-brac. I tried to rent a little U-Haul trailer and hook it on the back of my car. However, I don't have a hitch. So that went out the window. Now it's the 14th of September. I still got at least one full room full of stuff. So one of my neighbors said, why don't you pay somebody to drive the truck up behind you, follow you, and you fly them back? I said, that doesn't sound economical. I do have a ticket on reserve. I tried to keep one so my family could come down if they wanted to the beach. But it didn't seem economical to me, so I nixed that idea. But in order to clear out this apartment and clean it so that I wouldn't be held liable for anything, I needed to get this stuff out. So what did I end up doing? I got a storage unit. Now I'm in one state, part of my stuff is in another state, and even more of my stuff is still in South Carolina in storage. Now I'm fit to be tied. I'm angry. It's the 11th hour. So I'm sort of kind of between a rock and a hard place. Not much wiggle room, not much I can do. They got me over a barrel, and I don't like that. So I got the storage. We ran over and put stuff in the storage. I loaded my car with the rest of the stuff. I was packed in my car like a sardine. And I took off. When I arrived at my destination, I contacted the moving company. No, let me back up. While I was at the storage unit, I got a phone call from a Florida number. And I started not to answer it. But a thought came to me, said, you might want to answer that. I answered it. Lo and behold, it was a guy saying, this is the driver. I'm here to pick up your load. What? What driver? Who are you? I said, you know what? You made a mistake. I'm sorry. And I hung up. About 10 minutes later, I got a text. This is the driver. I'm supposed to pick up your load today. Why aren't you answering? I texted him back. I said, you must be mistaken. My load is already picked up and en route. He texted me back. By who? I didn't pick it up. Okay. Really, Sherlock? I know you didn't pick it up because you're calling me. So I dismissed it because now I'm in cleanup mode. Get this place turned back over, turn in my keys, and be done. I didn't give it another thought. Monday, when I arrived at my destination, I decided to call to get my final bill because it's time to settle up. Yeah. I called the company for whom I had given the $968. I called them, and they said, we have a problem. And I said, what's the problem? You have been picked up by another company. What? Apparently the original, the first company, didn't call, say what time they were coming, none of that. Because the person who called me and said we'll be there between 8 and 10 a.m. was the first company. At the 11th hour, they calling me to tell me they coming to get me, even though we haven't talked in almost a month. Nobody was corresponding, and I assumed it was company number 2. So, company number 1 has picked me up. Company number 2, I signed an agreement with them, so I'm on the hook for both companies. Company number 1, the original, for $23.70. Company number 2, the substitute company, for another $2,300, give or take. Company number 2 told me, out of the kindness of their heart, they were willing to cancel my contract. Because mind you, anything that you do on the internet nowadays is binding if you sign it electronically, which I did. Out of the goodness of their heart, they're going to refund me $300 of my $968, and they will be keeping $668 for the privilege of knowing me. Really? And for not disclosing or giving them a bad rating on social media. So, I didn't tell you their name, but I am going to tell you that they benefited for nothing. Just because I panicked, I made a mistake, I tried to rectify it, and I got busted. Now, here we are. Today is the what? 21st? 21st or the 22nd? I've lost track of time. I'm so out of it. I still don't have my belongings, which are my clothes, my computer, my TV, my bed, my mattress, my, incidentals. When I tell you that I contacted that original company and laid them out, the only thing the broker could tell me was, I'm out of it. I did my job. Now you're going to have to fight with the carrier, the company, the trucking company. I said, that's not right. I negotiated this contract with you. I'm holding you responsible. No, Miss Cherry. The only reason I'm talking with you is because we had, established a level of trust. I told you that you would not get an additional charge on your account. And now that you're telling me that they have picked up your items and have indicated in an invoice that they emailed to you that you owe $5,400 and change, for which they took the $500 off, I still owe them $4,400? Not breathing. Not breathing. So, I am hot. I'm angry. I'm boiling. I go online, I get their information, I look at the binding agreement that I signed. This is the first company, mind you. And all it says I can do is call the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Attorney General's office for the state where the trucking company is registered, which happens to be Missouri. I didn't waste time. The U.S. Department of Transportation, I waited online on hold to get them. I gave them the information, And a gentleman told me that that would immediately go over to the company, but they have no teeth in order to force them to negotiate, or at the very least stay with the contract amount for which I signed. I said, well, you have no teeth. Yeah, we don't have any criminal teeth. We can't charge them criminally. I said, so you going to gum them to death? What in the world are you talking about? What good are you? If you can't force these trucking companies to be fair, what do we need you for? Now I have to say, to that end, I agree with Trump. Government is too overbearing, particularly if it doesn't work. It's all right if it works, but if it doesn't, what good are you? You're collecting a salary. So this is part one, because it ain't over. I filed a complaint with the Federal Department of Transportation. I filed a complaint with the U.S. Attorney's Office, U.S. Attorney General's Office in Missouri. I've gone online. I emailed them. I've done a few things, so now I got to wait and see who's going to respond. This is not right, and it's not the end. I've read horrible stories about people who lost heirlooms and precious, irreplaceable photos because you have 30 days of free storage, up to 60 days of paid where they're charging you storage, and the final 30 days that puts you at 90 days, they auction your stuff off. Do you believe that? Now, I'm not saying that we're special as seniors, but what I am saying is we are the biggest consumer. We will be the biggest consumer in 2029. I think I told you that on one of the videos. But we're getting flim-flammed and reamed and scammed across the board. Time out. I'm not putting up with it. I can't. And you can't either. We can't afford this. We need advocates. We need people in high places, people up in Washington. They need to be made aware of this. Now, mind you, the trucking industry is not new. But this is a new spin on things, and you wouldn't know these things unless you need them. I never used a full-service moving company. Never needed it. However, my need was great enough that I didn't do the proper amount of homework, or I was so anxious to get this over with that I neglected to pay attention to the red flags that I was seeing. Their reviews were horrible. Blue Diamond Moving, or Premium Diamond Moving. They only have one DOT number, and it comes back to Blue Diamond Moving Company, based in St. Louis, Missouri. When I tell you I am ready to hang somebody, this is just wrong. So they're going to hold my stuff for ransom. $2,200 I agreed to on the paper that the driver left. The invoice they sent me in the email was started out at $5,000 and it's down to $4,400. I'm mad, and I'm not going to take it laying down. Now, they can hold my stuff. I'll run the whole 30 days out. 30 days is free. And then I'll have to see where I am at that point. Just think, I still have a storage unit. I got to go all the way back to Myrtle Beach and get it out of storage, put it on a truck, and bring it forward. Wrong on so many levels. I am not about to roll over and let them just do anything they want to me. I am not. But I'm pacing myself and I'm taking my time. I want to dot my I's and cross my T's and make sure that I've protected myself. Because the Federal Department of Transportation, DOT, told me we usually wait until after you have your stuff delivered because we understand they can retaliate. Well, if you know that, that's a crime, isn't it? I don't know. But remember, you don't know what you don't know. And that's for ding dang sure. Stay tuned for part 2. Take care.